the product, the process, the people. Ethos Decorum.
My name is Towles, and I am an artist, curator, director, creative human. I first got into art when I was young. I would copy album covers, which are technically not even around anymore. And then album covers turned into high school turned into graffiti turned into college turned into BFA for fine arts. And then there's a couple of different career paths that just led me to it. Became a designer and designed for Whole Foods and this and that and the other. And then I started doing designs for music industry stuff, just smaller things. And then basically all artistic endeavors collided into one entity. So this was one of the paintings from my Death of Ulysses show, and it was Antonius. Antonius was the leader of the suitors that basically came and courted Odysseus's wife for 10 freaking years or some shit like that. And he was just a backstabber, and he was just a shitty person. But he basically took someone else's entire universe and enveloped it and took control of it. So that's kind of how I portrayed that kind of little scenario. That's Poseidon. And basically the fun thing about Poseidon was this is one of the first paintings I actually made for the actual show, and it's based on my son. So it's funny because Poseidon was a really brief character in the Odyssey, I believe it was, that he the gods were just crybabies. They were just little bitches about shit. So the way he wrote it, he was yeah, so Poseidon didn't get his way, and he couldn't sleep with his girl, so he created these whirlpools and sent Odysseus, he was almost already home, and he sent him back out to sea for 15 more years. I'm they remind me of little kids, and so I painted him as a little kid eating sushi and fish sticks and just wearing a SpongeBob shirt, and I was just why are you acting like a child? Just playing around with that. This one, I just wanted to kind of do a little flair on my neighborhood. I definitely live up in the cut, so bounce on that. And then this one is some new work I've been dealing with that's kind of heading more towards my solo show. And it's cool, but it recently got sold, so I gotta get it to the buyer and make them happy. But yeah, this is just some of the stuff. And then I've got some abstracts over here on this wall because I've been really wanting to play with shape and color and form, and then maybe translate that into actual pieces later on. So that's what a lot of these deal with. Because, like I said, I don't want to limit myself. I don't have to, there's no one that writes the rule books of art, It's the best thing ever.
When did you decide that you were just going to be an artist full-time and not work for Whole Foods or anybody else, just work for yourself?
Yeah, I was bartending actually, was my last job, and the way I knew it was one that I was so busy with my art that I didn't have time to bartend. It was a natural progression of I'm too busy to do this other stuff. I mean, I was doing it pretty much as a 9-to-5 when I was bartending because I was only bartending on weekends. But when you have a child and a wife and 2 dogs, you had, it's that something where you need that sense of security. And you just have to make a leap of faith. And as soon as I made the leap of faith, I found that I was 10 times busier and made 10 times more money because I was concentrating fully on it than I did before when I was doing other endeavors. And I kind of punched myself in the face for not doing it sooner. But everything worked out beautifully.
What's Holy Bones?
Holy Bones. Holy Bones is a creative agency. So basically it's my studio, but it's this platform that I'm trying to build where I get approached a lot by brands or people, and they want to have me facilitate or help curate certain projects for them. And I do that by trying to surround myself with other creative people and make that job easier for myself, but also to get other people in the creative field, especially in DC, paid on those gigs.
You have a unique style
I can't actually, like, I actually tried, like, one time, like, putting pupils into my character's eyes and, like, put it on Instagram. I was like, what do you guys think? And I got hated on for it because they were like, it's not you, it's not you, it's not you, it's not you. And it was fine. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things that, like, it just never seemed like it needed to be. Like, everybody says, like, you can tell somebody's emotion by their pupils and like this and that. And I'm like, well, that's not necessarily true. You don't have to go all that route. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I can't do it later or just do it at all. It's just something that just never bothered me.
What's the best time to paint?
I think the answer to that, the best time to paint is like when you're, I think maybe when you're frustrated or like when you just feel that you need to. It's not usually when you're painting, because like when you're painting as in a job, it works, it's fine, it's whatever. But like when you feel like I really need to paint this now to get it done with, or I really need to paint this now because I'm fucking pissed off with this painting and I want to finish it. And sometimes it like makes the best ideas or works, because like for me it's not methodical. Like I'm not planned out. Like it's very chaotic, and when it happens, it happens. I really love when people are methodical and like admire their work so much, because they go from dark to build up their layers and this and that and the other. I don't do that. I just go with it how I want. And I enjoy that process, but I enjoy the way other people do it. It's just not me.
What's the one painting that you saw and you were like, okay, this is it. I've arrived as an artist. This is not child's play anymore. I'm a grown man artist now. What's that one moment? Or like a show?
Right. I think my first solo show was like an inkling of that, but it was still like, I wasn't there yet, and I wasn't there with my second one. The third one, the Death of Ulysses, was when I think it happened for me more. Because it was when my son was born, was when my art career and everything came like laser focused. I knew what I was doing, I knew what I wanted to do, I knew how I was gonna do. So I attribute a lot to that. But for the actual like thing, it was definitely like the last solo show I had, but this next solo show I have coming up is equally on that thing. It's the newest piece that I'm always most proud of. It's the newest mural that I'm like, look, this is something I just did. Or it's gonna be the next show. The next show that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna blow it out of the goddamn water, because I have a level that I want to reach, which is impossible, and I'm going to see how can I obtain that. And that's it. You only have this one life. I'm just gonna go hard until it's out.
How would you describe going from a graffiti artist to an artist whose work is in galleries, that transition itself?
It's funny, it's logical to go from like graffiti and then do to galleries, but it's almost like gone reverse for me, because like realistically, it's like go graffiti, then you go galleries, and then this day and age, you can actually make more money on your own if you do it in the right business sense than giving someone else 50%. Like why do that? Like the math doesn't work out. If I'm making more money than someone else doing it and I'm hustling 10 times harder, like what's the logic in that? Like that's been me and my wife's ethos for forever. Like people say like we micromanage stuff and we work too hard and we do this or that. The only reason why we do it is because I know how to do my job. I know how to do it 10 times better than me telling someone else how to do my job. Like if someone comes up and they say, hey, I want to become an apprentice to help you paint, I would tell them no. Because I paint really fast, I paint really hard, I know exactly what I want to do. Unless it's like one solid color, there's no way I can sit there. It would take more time for me to explain to that person how to do it than just for me to actually do it.
Do you sketch out your ideas, or do you think of them, or do you just freestyle? What's that creative process like?
It's like 25-75. So like 25% I can freestyle, it's like not a problem, but like I like more and more having that intimate story of where you sketch out something, you think out the process, you go along with the storyline, you create this whole world around it just off of, you know, a couple brush strokes or a couple drawings or a couple stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it turns into a whole show, or it turns into something else. Like my last solo show was called The Death of Ulysses, and it was based on the classic Iliad and Odyssey. And there's so much inspiration that you can gather from that, but like you have to really explore how you're going to express it.
You are an artist, but you're also an artist who has, you hustle a lot.
Yeah.
Could you explain being an artist and being a businessman, and how do you switch those things? What's the key to being a successful artist?
Right. It's the key to being a successful artist. I feel is like it's like hustle and grind. Like and knowledge. If you don't know how the inside outside of the art business works, you're not gonna fail, but you're setting yourself up to be taken advantage of, or for you're not getting what you're worth. And it's just like you have to sacrifice brunches, happy hours, like going out with friends, like friendships, like a lot of different things to make this kind of career. Because it's like, it's literally one of those careers where you have to watch paint dry. Like you have to work on 10 paintings at once. You have to like do invoices. You have to do like business plans, like that aren't even like an actual business. You have to do public proposal works where even if it's just a public wall, you have to get permits, permission, blah, blah, lifts, like schedules. Like even me directing the mural festival, like I have to book flights for people halfway around the world, see what color paints they need, like make sure like when they come into town, if they're allergic to cats or peanuts or like whatever, like, and I love it. I love the chaos of it all, but like how I'm able to maintain it and spit it back out where it's just, it makes sense.